are Locked On Lakers POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The Lakers play without Anthony Davis. Rui, Reeves, and Shake Milton came to play, and LeBron James leads the team to a much-needed victory. We talk about it all on the Locked On Lakers POSTCAST. I'm Dave Palet. Before we start the show, I want to mention the good people over at Game Time. Don't forget, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download that Game Time app today, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off with your first purchase. Now, terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, Los Angeles Lakers, we needed this win big time tonight. Laker fans, it was very frustrating after seeing what happened in Philadelphia. A lot of finger pointing, saying whose fault was it? You know, I kind of put it on JJ Redick, and a lot of people who don't follow the Lakers nationally were saying the same kind of thing that I was talking about the other night. I know it's hard to be critical of Bronny James. He's a fan favorite. He's a fan favorite even when he's on the road, as you saw tonight in Washington. But I thought the Lakers lost the game against the 76ers when the Lakers were up 18-9, and he decides to stick, meaning JJ Redick decides to stick Bronny James in the game with an 18-9 lead, and everything went downhill from there. And it's not one guy that loses a game in the first quarter, but it completely took the Lakers out of their rhythm. Well, tonight you find out that the Anthony Davis injury is at least a week-long injury. We hoped when the game ended against the 76ers that Anthony Davis would wake up the next day and all of a sudden it's not as bad as we think. Well, the Lakers giving him at least a week off, and it's a big part of the schedule. As I said, there's never a good time to miss games. There's certain opponents where it doesn't hurt so much, like tonight against the Wizards, but you have games coming up against teams that you definitely want, Anthony Davis out there. And so you want Anthony Davis against the Knicks on Saturday or against the Clippers or the Warriors. And there are games this team needs to win and to make a statement to see exactly where they're at. Unfortunately, you can't predict when injuries are going to happen. So Anthony Davis, one of the best players in the league, he's gone for at least a minimum of a week. We've seen this injury before with other Laker players. We saw it with Shaquille O'Neal. If you follow the Lakers way back when I used to cover the team in person, and Shaquille missed a lot of time. And when you talk about an ab injury, it's considered a core muscle. It's a muscle that you use every single day. So there's nothing like Anthony Davis can do as far as cutting down the movement outside of not playing basketball. So every time he sits up, every time he stands, every time he reaches for something, he's using that same muscle. So we hope Anthony Davis comes back soon. The Lakers desperately need him. But tonight, the Lakers had to go ahead and attack the Washington Wizards on the road. Again, heavy hearts in Washington, D.C., especially after the news of yesterday, just 24 hours ago, just devastating news in Washington, D.C. Tough place, heavy hearts as this game took place. One of the things that was mentioned on television was how the crowd wasn't sold out, and that's very unusual for a Laker game, whether it's at home or on the road. The Lakers usually are a must-see show, and you kind of wonder if yesterday's events had something to do with people saying, you know what, now's not the time to go watch a basketball game. But either way, it was unusual. The Laker fans that were there were very loud. So here we go. Let's start with the starting five. People wanted to know, what was JJ Redick's lineup going to look like without Anthony Davis? Well, he decided to stay with the traditional center. He went with Jackson Hayes. Not a bad call. I think some people were wondering, were you going to go with just a faster, more athletic team? But when you look at what Washington has, they have some big guys that can bang underneath. Made sense that Jackson Hayes was going to be the guy. It'll be interesting to see how the Lakers approach this the rest of the way. Just because Jackson Hayes started tonight, not so sure he's going to start the rest of the way in Anthony Davis's absence. But tonight, the starting five was Hayes, Rui, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, LeBron James. Team did play without Gabe Vincent, did play without Dorian Finney-Smith. So, kind of shorthanded, if you want to say that. They did get Jared Vanderbilt back, who, as you're aware, he didn't play because they didn't want him playing back-to-back games coming back from a year-long injury. That being said, Lakers got embarrassed in Philadelphia. So the Lakers came out firing. I mean, they did exactly what you would hope they would do. Would have been very frustrating if the Lakers would have come out with a poor effort, knowing it's the Wizards, the worst team in the league. With the loss tonight, the Wizards have now lost 16 straight games. Second time this year, the Wizards have lost 16 straight games. Absolutely crazy. to think you could be on a team to lose basically 32 games in a row. But second time this year, they've lost 16 straight games. And so the Lakers didn't play down to their opponent. That's big. And I think it's also important to show us as Laker fans, if JJ Redick's the right guy, meaning can he get the guys to come out and give the best effort? Not always easy to travel, not always easy to come back after a disappointing loss and knowing you're playing the worst team in the league, saying I can cruise. Lakers did not go about that at all. And I credit LeBron James for this, because the team's going to react and behave whatever LeBron James says. And he showed it with his effort tonight. Lakers come out firing, leading by as many as 14 points. In the first quarter, Lakers shot 62%. Not bad at all. I mean, really good. So 62% three-point range. The Lakers shot 50% from three-point range. If you remember the game in Philadelphia, the Lakers shot 1 of 10 from three-point range in the first quarter. The Lakers come out tonight making 5 of their first 10 from three-point range. So the Lakers were doing great. All right. They were fantastic. They outscored the Wizards. What's the magic number we want to see the Lakers get into per quarter? We like to see them score at least 30 points a quarter. Would be great. Well, the Lakers get stuck off in the 20s. Well, in the first quarter tonight, Lakers scored 42 points in the first quarter. Washington scored 29, which is way too much to give up to this Washington team, but they scored 29. Lakers, again, 42, though. I was pleased with offense. That 29, I think a lot of it has to do with, you don't really have a presence in the middle like an Anthony Davis. The way he's able to run the floor and the shot blocker he is makes a big difference. So you miss him. Lakers, led scoring-wise by LeBron's 11, 3 assists. Austin Reeves, he had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. The Warriors, on the other hand, Jordan Poole, he had 9, and former Laker Kyle Kuzma, he had 7. Just a question I'm going to throw out in the chat. Are you guys Kuzma fans? Like, do you root for Kuzma because he once wore a Laker uniform? Or is it because he wore a Laker uniform, he's now on another team, he's the enemy? Again, traded away. It wasn't Kyle Kuzma's idea to leave the Lakers or say, horrible things on the way out the door. But what do you feel about Kyle Kuzma? I'm just kind of curious as Laker fans. Wizards in that quarter, they shot 40%, 33% from three-point range. They were 4 of 12 rebounds. Lakers did a fantastic job without Anthony Davis. They had 15. The Wizards only had 5. And assists, I love the Lakers assist numbers because to me, it seems like they're being too unselfish. But when you're making those extra passes and getting the ball around to the right person, being unselfish, makes guys feel like, number one, they're part of the team. 2 is there's no reason to ever give up on the offensive end as far as running the floor hard, because there's a chance you're going to get the ball back. Lakers 10 assists in the first quarter, Wizards 7. And the surprise of the night, and we'll get into his entire game, but you could tell early on, it was one of those where I think you're wondering, can they keep this going? Bench points for the Lakers, they had 7, which Shake Milton had 5 of those. The Wizards had 6 total bench points in the first quarter. Shake Milton had 5. So it was great to see Shake Milton, who I'm sure when you talk about frustrated and saying he would come over and want to prove to his teammates he can play and prove to his coach he's a valuable player, that Shake Milton's a guy that hasn't felt like he got an opportunity to find his rhythm with this team. And it's one of those where I'm sure you don't say anything, because you're the new guy here. Also, when the team's winning, it's hard to sit there and complain as well. But for Shake Milton, tonight was a good night, and we're going to get into his entire night as well. But it was a good night for the bench. It was a good night for Shake Milton, and we'll get into the third factor on why tonight's win was so important for this team. Second quarter for the Lakers. Lakers did a fantastic job. Defensively, they picked it up. As I said, they gave up 29 in the first quarter. Now, it's either Washington was that bad of a shooting team or the Lakers defense picked it up. But the Lakers held the Wizards to only 16 points in the second quarter. The Lakers scored 36. So you outscored them by 20 in the second quarter. Great start. Rui Hachimura, he had 10 in the quarter. Great big night for him. Again, Dorian Finney-Smith did not play in this game, so you needed a lot from Rui, and that was fantastic news for the Lakers that they got off to a great start with Rui and can continue to play solid basketball, being shorthanded. Lakers needed it tonight. I think a lot of guys needed it. Rui, a former Wizard, of course, wants to show the people in Washington this is what you missed. You decided that I was expendable. You traded me away. There's a little bit of pride that goes into it. Good news right there. So we'll look at the halftime stats and everything else with the Lakers, break it down. Again, I'm going to take your comments as well. Curious to know what you thought about the win. At the same time, what does it mean not to have Anthony Davis? And do you like what you saw tonight? Do you like what you saw from LeBron and the guys, the team playing without Anthony Davis? So we'll talk about all that. Hey, I want to talk about game time again. Now, look, attending NFL playoff games is unforgettable. The Super Bowl is unforgettable. tell you right now, I've been lucky enough to go to 5 of them. They're awesome. The Super Bowl does not disappoint at all. Experience the fun that brings the fans together. Attending a game is awesome. And look, you remember the excitement, the energy of a playoff game or a Super Bowl. It will last a lifetime. The memories are amazing of what can happen when you go to a game in person. And that's why Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Now, look, no matter what your game is, again, if it's the NBA, if it's the NFL, for me, I talk about this all the time, but I'm a huge Major League Baseball fan, huge Dodger fan, but I'm in the middle of a stadium tour. Going to a weird stadium tour June 6th, 7th, and 8th. Hitting Milwaukee, I'm hitting the Chicago White Sox, and I'm hitting the Cincinnati Reds 3 days in a row. A lot of driving, but at the same time, they're on the list. They're 3 of 30 teams, and I haven't been to those stadiums yet. But guess what I'm using? I'm using Game Time. Game Time's the one that can help me out, find the best deals, best seats as I go to all these ballparks, and it's something my son and I have been using for a number of years. It is fantastic. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Can't do better than that. Again, the people at Game Time always doing good things. Recommend it. So the Lakers at the half. How did things look for this Laker team? Well, they're up 78-45 at the half. 78 was a new record for the Lakers in the half. The Lakers' previous record was 76 against the Raptors. If you follow the Lakers every single night like I do, you remember that game against Toronto, and you're going, that was pretty awesome. Tonight's game was great. I love when Stu Lance said they should just keep a running clock at this point, which was funny as can be. Obviously, you aren't going to keep a running clock with all the commercials and the money that go into the NBA, but the line made me laugh. If you've ever gone to a high school game and it's a blowout in football or basketball, and you're like, just keep that clock running. This is ridiculous. Pretty cool. Shooting percentage for the Lakers, again, continue to shoot the lights out. Lakers at 60%. From the field, 3-point range, 53%. I mean, what Laker team are we watching? 9 of 17 for the Lakers. This was JJ Redick's dream come true. 53% from 3-point range. You will never lose a game shooting like that. Wizards, 29% field goals, 22% from behind the arc, 5 of 23 from 3-point range for the Wizards. Rebounds, listen to this number. Lakers 30, Wizards 13. Almost amazing. I mean, amazing to think that one team could get 13 when the Lakers had 30 assists. I mean, you talk about team basketball and not team basketball. Lakers had 19 assists in the first half. So 10 in the first quarter, 9 in the second quarter. Wizards for the entire half had 4 assists. That explains your 6 wins right there. The Wizards are a complete mess. Bench points for the Lakers. Lakers had 15. Shake Milton had 9 of those 15. Wizards had 9 bench points by themselves. Turnovers, Lakers only had 4. Wizards had 5. And points off turnovers, Lakers had 8. Wizards had 3. Points in the paint, Lakers dominate. I mean, even without Anthony Davis, Lakers completely dominate 34-10. So what's the magic number? Lakers are 20-4 when leading at the half. Now they're 21-4 when leading at the half. So really good sign for this Laker team. At this point, I think we feel comfortable, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting there looking at the Lakers and I'm looking at the giant lead at the half and I'm going 78-45, this one's in the bag. This is one of those where you're like, I'm going to watch the second half, number one, to see how long is LeBron going to play and what numbers does he finish with. But also I want to see what the bench looks like, because the Lakers bench is a huge question mark. Can this Laker bench and certain guys on the bench step up to really show that either why you need to make a trade or why you don't make a trade? And at the same time, I want to see Dalton Knecht shot fall. I want to see, Vanderbilt back on the floor, continue to get his legs underneath them. The crowd, surprising, chanted for Bronny like crazy tonight. I was shocked by that. I mean, I understand why they do it in Los Angeles. People love LeBron. People love his family. But I was really surprised that the Lakers, fans on the road and the people that were at the Washington Wizards game tonight were chanting so heavy for Bronny to score. And even when we went to the free throw line at the end of the game and they're chanting MVP, was, I don't want to say hilarious, because it wasn't, I think, said tongue-in-cheek. I think it was, these people love him. Good for that kid. Good for that kid. And I don't know. I'm curious to know what he thought about the chance. I'll try and find it after the show tonight to hear what it was like in the interview. But think how many guys have played in the NBA, even all-stars who have played in the NBA that don't hear the chant of MVP, but Bronny heard it in his first year when really he has underachieved as a rookie. So third quarter, again, Lakers, they outscored the Wizards again. This time it's only 27-25. At this point, Lakers lead 105-70. And by leading 105-70, LeBron only played, half the third quarter. He was done for the night. Great. LeBron finishes the night, 24 points, 3 rebounds, 11 assists in just 27 minutes. That's exactly what the Lakers needed. I mean, that's exactly it right there. The Lakers needed a blowout win, and they needed a blowout win, not only for confidence, but at the same time, and these road trips are tough. And you could say whatever you want about these guys are flying chartered planes and they're staying in suites and the nicest hotels. Everyone knows when you travel, no matter how far it goes, it takes a little bit out of you. And so the Lakers had a day off yesterday. They travel from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C., not a long flight. And here we go. Can they pull it together? The trip continues again on Saturday when the Lakers will travel to New York to take on the Knicks. Knicks Lakers, number 1 media market, number 2 media market. A lot of Knicks fans obviously hate LA. A lot of Laker fans hate New York. It's gone on forever. My entire life, it's gone on this way. And the Knicks haven't done anything since 1973. The most overrated franchise in sports are the New York Knicks. Any Knicks fan out there that tells you how great the Knicks are, you'll believe it when you see it. The Knicks are a joke. And so when anyone wants to talk trash back to me about, oh, I'm from New York and I'm a Knicks fan, all right, well, you haven't done anything. Since 1973, you haven't done anything. We're talking 52 years. You haven't done a thing. But yet the Knicks fans always act like they have the banners the Lakers have. It is frustrating. Madison Square Garden's pretty cool. It's a very famous building, but let's see the Lakers go and pull off that win on Saturday night. So as the trip continues, we want to see the Lakers continue to improve and get better and better all the way through. Again, big night for the Lakers, big night for the bench. Craig, man, nice to see you tonight again, Craig. Beat down tonight, Craig says. Shake looks good. At the center, Rui had one of his best shooting games. Daniel, what's up? Appreciate you jumping in. Daniel says easy dub. Tonight was an easy W, and that doesn't happen in the NBA very often, especially for this Laker team. The Lakers don't do this a lot, and the Laker teams that we all loved for years and years did this all the time. But for this Laker team, it doesn't happen enough. And so for the Lakers to get a win like this was a much needed victory, and something that should have been done, earlier on. The Lakers game against the Hornets should have been a game like this. That's another situation where you should have had a blowout win. You give your stars a chance to rest, but the Lakers couldn't do it. Hate to say it, the game against the 76ers should have been an easy game. You had no Joel Embiid on the floor, and you had no Paul George on the floor. Not only do you not blow them out, they embarrassed you. Doesn't make any sense. Lakers, I saw use the excuse the other night that Anthony Davis went down in the first 10 minutes and it's hard to game plan. What are you talking about? I mean, what were you going to do when Anthony Davis was on the bench to take a rest? What was your plan of attack? When it's hard to game plan. Look, I love Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is out a lot. Last year was unusual that Anthony Davis played as many games as he played. Every time I watch Anthony Davis, and it's not an attack on Anthony Davis, every time he goes to the floor, I'm thinking, are you going to get up? Every single time. It just happens. This is what he is. I mean, he's good and bad with Anthony Davis, meaning when he's on the floor and he's healthy, he's as good as anybody in the league. But, man, when you talk about pain threshold or whatever it is that he has an act for being seriously injured, because it's hard to question somebody's pain. It's easy to say it when you're on your couch, like, just get up and let's go. Let's keep going. Anthony Davis, every time he goes to the floor, you're thinking, oh, boy, how many games now? And this time we're looking at a situation that's one of those, how many games now? How many games is Anthony Davis going to miss? As we know, minimum of 1 week, as he's already flown back to Los Angeles. He's not with the team. Taking a look at the box score for the Lakers. Here's the deal. As I told you before, LeBron James, big night, 27 minutes, 24 points, 11 assists. Very pleased with LeBron's effort. 9 of 19 shooting tonight. Outstanding. Great night for LeBron. I think his energy is a big reason why the Lakers played as well as they did. And what can you do except saying, hey, here's the guy who's 40 years old. Here's the guy that's all-time leading scorer, holds so many records I can't even keep track. But it's a game against the Wizards, a team that he faced a million times when he played for Cleveland and Miami. Hard to get excited going against a team that has 6 wins. But LeBron's energy, I think, got everyone else to follow in the same boat. We'll take a look at the rest of the box score in just a second. First, want to mention the people over at Intuit TurboTax. Taxes, well, they were waiting and they're wondering and worrying if you're going to get any money back, and then waiting, wondering and worrying for some more. Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax. Experts is the key. You can do your taxes as soon as today. An expert who gives you taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return, while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your regular day. Now, an expert will find every deduction possible, file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy. All you have to do is make sure you contact the people with TurboTax. It's very easy. And look, are you going to get money back? That's what everybody wants. It's very easy. And look, the most money back guaranteed, no waiting, no wondering, no worries. Now, this is tax season. Get ready for it. Get your expert on and get ready to go with TurboTax.com. Look, it's available with the real-time TurboTax Live full service, real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. It's one of those things you want to take care of. Make sure that you're paying your taxes. All right. So looking at the rest of this box score here, LeBron James, we said, came to play. Rui had a great game. 26 minutes for Rui. Played fantastic. When Rui plays like this is a dream come true for the Lakers. Not only is he a fantastic team player, but when he gives you a solid contribution all the way around. And you look at his number in 26 minutes, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 1 block shot, just 1 turnover. Fantastic. Okay, that's a great night for Rui, a guy who's not an all-star, but he's an all-star to this team as far as what's expected of him night in and night out. Austin Reeves, 30 minutes, 17 points for Austin Reeves, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers. I know that's frustrating for him. There was something that happened in the game. I wish they would have addressed it. At least if they addressed it, I missed it. I rewound it, and then I watched it again. I rewound it, watched it again. There was a point in the game where the Lakers were up by a lot. There's a timeout called. They're going to a TV commercial. And Austin Reeves, as he's going to the bench, grabs just a stack full of towels, and he just slams them right into the ground. He's obviously upset about something, and I missed what the reason was. I hope he's asked about it, but I imagine it had to do more with the referees, just like Dalton Knecht got into it with the referees. Either the referees thinking he's getting fouled and they aren't calling it, or something's going on as far as a player on the Wizards that's upsetting him. But I'm curious to know, because you don't see that kind of emotion out of Austin Reeves where he picks up a stack of towels and he spikes it in the ground like he's Rob Gronkowski. So I want to know. Just curious to see what's there. Max Christie gets better all the time. Max Christie, again, fantastic defender, great team player. Don't think Max Christie's ever going to be an all-star, only averages 8.3 points a game. But tonight he had 13 points in 30 minutes, 4 fouls, which is funny to me, 3 assists, 4 rebounds to go with his night. And Jackson Hayes. Hey, how about a tip of the hat to Jackson Hayes? Jackson Hayes in 25 minutes tonight played basically a perfect game for the Lakers. He made all 4 of his shots, scored a total of 10 points, 10 rebounds. So he got his double-double, 2 assists, blocked 3 shots. The turnovers hurt. The 3 turnovers is something that obviously you want to fix. Jackson Hayes has terrible hands, but 3 turnovers right there. But for Jackson Hayes, this is the kind of performance while Anthony Davis is out. You'll take the 10 points and you'll take the 10 rebounds and you'll take the block shots. Good for him. Jared Vanderbilt, it's fun to see him on the floor, isn't it? Jared Vanderbilt does a lot. In 16 minutes, he had 4 steals. I mean, if Jared Vanderbilt played the entire season, the way he racks up these steals, you're talking about a guy who's an all-defensive player. 4 points for him, made 2 of his 3 shots he attempted, and Shake Milton was the star. Shake Milton was the star off the bench. Good for Shake Milton because – man, he has been a lot of DNPs where he's not playing. DNP, coach's decision, says in the box score. Tonight in 28 minutes, he's able to grab 21 points, made 7 of his 8 shots, made 1 of 2 3-point attempts, made all 6 of his free throws, but 21 points, outstanding night. 3rd leading scorer for the Lakers. Shake Milton, good for you. And hopefully, you know what, he continues to grow with confidence. Again, he's going back to play the Knicks on Saturday, he was a net, obviously a little bit of the New York feel to it. Hopefully going back to familiar surroundings with maybe family and friends who are still there. He has a great game on Saturday as well. But it was nice to see. Hopefully the Lakers figured out a bench piece and Shake Milton, at least on how to use them. Again, tonight you didn't have Gabe Vincent, and at the same time you didn't have Dorian Finney-Smith, so only so many minutes to go around. Dalton Knecht had 10 points thrown out of the game, which was bizarre. So, Stu Lance was laughing like crazy. I laughed. It's thinking, how do you get thrown out of a game when you're leading by over 30 points? But Dalton Knecht found a way to get thrown out of the game, yelling at the referee. Obviously thought he was fouled on a three-point attempt, did not get the foul called, and was extremely upset, but it was kind of humorous. So it'll be one of those, I think, when he's done playing, where he laughs about this later on. Bronny James played 12 minutes tonight, so it's equivalent of one quarter. He scored 5 points. Crowd really wanted him to do well. 1 of 6 shooting for Bronny. 1 of 6. He made 3 free throws and ends up with 5 points tonight. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, had a steal, but the crowd loved him. The crowd absolutely loved him, and so for Bronny James, hopefully he's leaving the arena and go, that was a cool night, especially with the MVP chance and everything else. So for the Lakers, again, final score 136. 134-96, I should say. 134-96 was the way it worked out. Jordan Poole led the Wizards, if you're curious, with 19. Kyle Kuzma finished with just 13 on the night, 3 of 14 shooting, 21 minutes. Kuzma is a guy that I'm not in a hurry to see back in a Laker uniform. Again, I like him, but not in a hurry to see him back in a Laker uniform. But overall, big win tonight, big game for the Lakers, and they took care of business. And so most importantly, Lakers win. You get the wins, and they aren't all pretty. Tonight was kind of pretty. I mean, if it was the Lakers against any other team, you take the W, and the Lakers need as many wins as they can possibly get. So good for them. Good for us as Laker fans that things are moving in the right direction for this team. Looking at the Lakers, you want to see exactly where they are in the standings. What did this do for the team tonight? How much did it help them? Well, we want to be in the number 4 spot. Lakers, again, they're chasing teams in front of them. So, they weren't going to be the number 4 spot no matter what happened tonight. So I'll let you know how it looks in the Western Conference. Number 1 seed is Oklahoma City. Still, they've won 7 of their last 10 games. They have a 5-game lead over the Houston Rockets, who are the 2 seed. Grizzlies are 6.5 games back, number 3 seed. Nuggets are 9.5 out. Nuggets, though, have lost 3 games in a row. Right after I said, watch out, here come the Nuggets. Nuggets have lost 3 games in a row. That's a good sign for the Lakers. And look at this. With the win tonight, Lakers are only a half game back of the Denver Nuggets as far as number 5. Lakers are the 5 seed right now. Guess who's right behind the Lakers? It's the Clippers. It's a big game with the Clippers coming up on the schedule. Again, it would be nice to see the Lakers stick it to the Clippers. Minnesota, the 7th seed. Minnesota's now won 4 in a row, starting to pick it up. Dallas Mavericks, they've won 2 in a row. Mavericks are the 8th seed. Phoenix Suns, 24 and 22 are the 9th seed, and the Kings, 24 and 23. But we all know the Kings, a lot of talk, De'Aaron Fox is going to be traded very soon. A lot of talk about Jimmy Butler as well. What team does he end up with? A week ago at this time, the talk was Jimmy Butler was going to end up with the Phoenix Suns. I think don't be surprised if Jimmy Butler ends up with the Warriors, actually. And I'm fine as a Laker fan if Jimmy Butler doesn't come here. He's obviously older, and at the same time, Jimmy Butler goes through these weird phases. He does this a lot throughout his career. He's done this where he becomes a cancer to a team. He did it with the Minnesota Timberwolves when he was there. Obviously went to Miami, and they got a lot out of him for a little bit. Jimmy Butler next year, I believe, is scheduled to make $53 million, I think at age 36. It's a lot of money right there. But right now, Golden State would not be in the playoffs. San Antonio, Portland, they're, of course, at the bottom. New Orleans, 12 and 36, Jazz 10 and 35. All those guys there aren't in. Taking a look at the next opponent for the Lakers, it's the New York Knicks. If you want to know what you're going to get from the Knicks are the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference right now. They're 32 and 16, 17 and 8 at home, and they've won 5 in a row. So the Lakers are going to face a Knicks team right now that's rolling on all cylinders. Not exactly an ideal matchup for the Lakers, but the Lakers will take on a Knicks team. Again, it's a national televised game. It's a 5:30 start on ABC, and there's going to be a lot there, and whether it's the history of the New York Knicks and the LA Lakers, whether it's the history of the number 1 media market, number 2 media market, East Coast, West Coast, or guess what? Is it the history of the LA Dodgers knocking out the New York Mets and ending their season and winning the World Series and ending the Yankees season. I think hatred's at an all-time high and rivalry between these two cities, and I absolutely love it. Love that it's going this way. And so congratulations to the Dodgers again for having just a perfect run, knocking off the big mouth San Diego Padres, knocking off the Mets, knocking off the Yankees, and let's see the Lakers knock off the Knicks on Saturday night at 5:30. I will be here with you after the game. Invite you to join me on the chat. Appreciate everybody's time tonight. But Lakers win again. Final score 134-96 over the Wizards. Have a great night, everybody.